For today's assignment, you guys are going to be trying to identify the evidence in your poem that you've been working with all week, and you're going to be pulling out evidence so that you'll ultimately tomorrow be able to answer this prompt. So your prompt for the week is, what element of style or poetic device helps to portray the theme of your poem? And all week long, you've been looking at the elements of your poem and the poetic devices. And yesterday, you looked at the theme of your poem. So now we're going to kind of put all that together. If I were having you write a full, complete essay on this, I would actually have you choose 3 different elements that help to portray the theme. But because I'm just wanting you to write one super solid paragraph, I want you to choose the one that you think best portrays the theme. And that ultimately is going to be your thesis or your claim. The element of style or the poetic device that best helps portray my theme or the theme of my poem is, and then is it figurative language? Is it the voice? Is it the word choice? So you're going to try to pull it out after analyzing it all week. So ultimately tomorrow, you're going to be writing this paragraph, and here is my example paragraph based on the mother to son poem that we've been looking at all week in these videos. So I've got the blue is kind of my hook or my intro. The green sentence there is my topic or my thesis sentence. Then I've got a couple of red sections in there. Those are my evidence. That's when I pull in the different lines from the poem to help support that this is the element that best portrays the theme. And then the black sections there, those are the commentary. That's where I talk a little bit about how those particular pieces of evidence help to support or help to show the theme. So we've got the blue. Life lessons are never hard to come by. We learn them over the course of our lives as we watch those around us make mistakes and as we struggle through conflict. And then I've got my topic sentence or my thesis. In the poem Mother to Son by Langston Hughes, the poet's use of figurative language is the key element that helps the reader uncover an all-important life lesson. One should never give up, no matter how hard life might be. So you can see here in the thesis, I identify which element I think is the best portrayal of the theme or helps to best portray the theme, and that's the use of figurative language. And then I also identify what the theme is. One should never give up, no matter how hard life might be. So within your thesis sentence, you're not only identifying the element that you think best helps to portray the theme, you're also stating what the theme is. Then in that first red segment, I have a couple of different pieces of evidence from the poem. The poem's metaphor, so I tell you what piece of figurative language the poet uses, is carried throughout the entirety of the poem. In the beginning, the speaker states that life for me ain't been no crystal stair. She then goes on to say that her staircase has had tacks, splinters, boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor bare. So I pull in that evidence to help support that this is figurative language, to show and prove that the author uses figurative language. And now I'm going to talk about how those pieces of evidence, how that metaphor helps to prove the theme. By describing her life as a set of stairs, the reader can infer that this woman's life has been an uphill battle, much like climbing several flights of stairs can be a difficult task. In addition, the imagery of the broken up floors help us envision that the many different struggles this woman has had to face over the course of her life. So back there in the green thesis sentence, my theme was one should never give up, no matter how hard life might be. And so I'm trying to show you that she's talking about how hard her life has been by mentioning these tacks, splinters, boards torn up, and so on. So I've commented on, or I've given some explanation on the evidence that I first used. Now I'm going to give some more evidence. As the reader nears the end of the poem, so I kind of switch my focus from beginning to the end, They are hit with the true message. The mother tells her son, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on those steps because you finds it's kinder hard. So again, I try to pull in a specific line. I put quotation marks around it. And now I'm going to explain it. We might guess that the son is going through a difficult time and his mother sees him trying to give up. However, she has lived a long life and faced many obstacles, and she's still climbing, and she is encouraging her son to be strong and do the same. So again, you're commenting on how the evidence you are identifying helps to show the theme. One should never give up. So this particular piece of evidence is the never give up part. My first piece of evidence was the life is hard part, and then the second piece of evidence, but you should never give up. And then I want to conclude it. So I have it green because I'm tying it back into my thesis. Though we may not always want their advice, it is a parent's sole responsibility to raise and teach their children how to navigate this life. The speaker in Hughes's poem teaches one of the most important lessons we can learn about resiliency and the power to persevere in times of darkness. So I tie it into the fact that we're never giving up, even when things are hard. Except I'm saying it differently, that we need to be resilient even when times are dark. So it's a really good idea to just try to restate that message, restate that theme, but in a different way as you're concluding your paragraph. All right, so your task for today is not to write your paragraph. Your task for today is just to help kind of jot down some notes so that tomorrow you'll be able to write your paragraph. So in your assignment on Canvas today, you're going to be identifying which element you think best helps to portray the theme. So is it the figurative language? Is it the repetition? And so you're going to find different pieces in your poem. Then you're going to pull in that evidence. So you're going to identify, I would say, at least 2 to 4 lines that help to support your claim. So those 2 to 4 lines need to be in that element. So when I chose the things to put into my paragraph, they were part of the metaphor. All right. So whatever element you're choosing, the evidence needs to be a piece of that element. If it's repetition, if it's word choice, then make sure you're pulling in lines that are that element. And then for each piece of evidence that you pull out of the poem, you're going to try to connect that evidence to the theme. How does that line help to express the theme? So it's not too much today, and then tomorrow you'll just be putting the information you put in today's assignment kind of cohesively together into a paragraph. If you have questions on this, come in and see me. I can help you get it put together. I can help you try to pull lines if you're struggling with that. I hope you have not too hard a time with it, but if you do, I'm here for you. Thanks.